How long it's been a year, can you believe it?
Yeah.
Over a year now.
That's what I'm saying.
March 13th.
Well, yeah.
When I was laid off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For COVID?
Yep.
That's
that was when COVID actually hit. And school, I work in school, transportation, and so it was like, we're off for 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks turned into oops, I don't know how long.
2 more weeks, and then, right? And that's it. Sorry, man, we're cutting back.
But I think for most people, that was like the best thing that happened to them. Because I know so many people that started side hustles, businesses during that time.
Yeah? They were forced to kind of do it, right?
They had no
It's a leap.
option.
That
They
leap
had
of...
no other option. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you're stuck in a corner. You're like, do this, or
you're going to die.
you got a gun in your head. Yeah, like, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
You're forced to take action. Most people don't take action.
Exactly. It pushes people to the limit. I mean, at least it did for me, and I'm sure it did for you, right?
Yeah, it was. I was kind of doing it like half-assed, and then I was like, I really got to make this a thing, because it was a reminder that your job is not secured
ever.
I knew the owner, like it was a family friend, so like it was like no matter what type of, unless you're making money for yourself, like it's not.
Yeah, it's not secure.
Yeah, it's not secured at all.
Even like, let's say for wholesaling, let's say for some reason like they make wholesaling illegal nationwide.
Figure something else out.
So yeah, you're like, oh, I can't do that. So let me start doing something else.
Yeah.
I'll probably start doing flipping. Oh, okay. So you want me to buy it? I'll actually buy it at a really high discount. I'll go through everybody.
You already got the skills to find the deal, to structure the deal.
Yeah, and you close it. Now you're just closing with hard money and waiting a little bit longer to get paid, making maybe a bigger spread through a flip. But
I got 2 solid rentals that I bought because I started wholesaling. Like, amazing deals.
Yeah?
Especially the last one.
You get them cents in the dollar, man. And sometimes you just don't want to let them go.
Yeah, I bought 6-unit apartment.
Nice.
Literally on Manor Street. I bought it 2 months. I bought it for cash for $300. 2 months later, got it
refi appraised.
Refi appraised.
Yeah.
Got everything back out. It appraised at $385.
Let's go.
And I got 80% of that, which was like $315 or something.
That's awesome.
I bought it for $300. I got it.
Yeah. You paid for your closing costs, and you made 10 grand in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, and I would have not been able to do that if it wasn't like I went out and found my own deals.
And the property didn't even need any work.
I didn't do nothing to it when I appraised it.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. These things exist. And people like
They
tell me, ILYA, like, how does that? I'm like,
2 months.
You got to keep searching. You got to keep working hard and work these leads.
Oh, yeah.
They're real.
Yeah, that's follow-up, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
That guy called me a year after he got my postcard.
He held on to it. You stood out.
His guy backed out, and guess who he called?
That's amazing. And we had that. I actually had the same thing in Columbus, Ohio. A lady called us saying, like, yo, I was supposed to sell 2 weeks ago, and the guy backed out.
Yep.
And I'm like, are you serious? And
his financing fell through.
Oh.
The other guy.
Wow. Was this around COVID, too?
I have no idea. Yeah, it was, he called me right after the guy couldn't close. The seller kept his earnest money.
Yo, sometimes it's good. Depends how much they put, right?
Yeah, I think it was a legit finance deal. It was like $5,000 maybe.
Wow.
Like 5 or 10. It was 10K because he extended it.
Oh, wow.
So
he kept his money. He picked up your postcard and reached out to you. Did you have him already in your system? Was he like going to follow up? Really?
No, we did. He actually, I guess I checked. He had called a long time ago, and we talked, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to sell already, and I'm not interested anymore." Like,
boom.
But he kept it, and he called, and I knew when he called where it was from a postcard because we track it.
Yeah, exactly. What number he's calling? Yeah.
And then he called, and
that's amazing.
Met him up and gave him an offer. He wanted what, $350, and I gave him. It's funny because I gave him cash offer at $300, and a financed offer at $325 or something.
$325
offer.
Really?
At $300.
Damn. So he was just like, I'm done with this.
He's like, I don't want to go through another.
I'm ready to sell, and that's it.
Yeah. He's like, the last guy backed out. I don't want to risk that.
Yeah. And that happens. Sometimes you pick up good deals because somebody else dropped the ball.
Yeah, man.
And that's the beauty of wholesaling. And a lot of, like I said, people that always ask, how are you doing? I'm like, it's there. It's crazy how much work sometimes it takes in order to get it. Well, luckily for you, you didn't have to follow up with him a lot. Sometimes you get these deals like, hey, let's go. Remember me? Yeah, my deal fell through. I'm like, wait, what?
You know, my favorite deal we just closed on recently was this guy. We don't do too many postcards, but we sent him a postcard. He called, very rude over the phone almost, and then we wouldn't get a hold of him. Our numbers were in the same area. We wanted like around 70.
Yeah.
We didn't give him. We threw a number. We said around 70. He's like, oh, okay, that's not bad. We could not get a hold of the guy. Would hang up on us. If you look, I show you my text. It's one way, just my text, right? And then we're like, let's just send him an offer. And we wrote an offer at 65. Sent it to him. Guy calls me. He's
On the
like,
mailer.
Yep, mailed it to him. Yeah, I got an offer. I got your offer. I'm ready to sign. Can you come right now? He's a Amish guy.
Really?
I went, drove to his house, got the contract. And
Oh my
sold
God.
it the same day.
That's amazing. That's amazing. In the city here.
It was less. Yeah, it was less than what we agreed over the phone. I sent the contract.
That's incredible. That's
And
amazing.
That was the easiest thing. We sold in 2 weeks. Everything was done. We had to
Close
buy it the
settled,
same
right?
day.
Made money. And
No,
that's it.
yeah,
Those are the best. I've had those where it's like you get under contract, assigned the same day.
the same day.
And you're like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah.
My hand's actually glowing in this video.
I know it's
because
the sun.
Yeah, I wish I could get a better angle, but I think,
You might have to drive over there or something.
Yeah, I don't know with the sun. Let's see. I'll edit that part out. But that's
So
good.
what do you put these? I hope it's not upside down because I see the time is over there below.
Nah, that's all good. I'll be able to flip it when I'm editing it. So
Nice.
if I'm gonna drop it, I'll probably drop it on YouTube.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Maybe like a clip from it in Instagram to get some content, and then people hey, the full video's on
You got
YouTube.
a lot of followers on Instagram, bro. You gotta use that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So just gotta keep building up, and that's why I'll definitely. You're on Instagram too.
I am.
I'll hit you up, and what's your Instagram? So for the viewers here, they can follow you.
Ephraim B. It's EPHREMB on Instagram.
Ephraim B.
Hit me up. Send me a
That's
DM.
oh awesome. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's a wholesaler as well in Lancaster here, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
One market, right? This is it.
Just one market. We're looking to do a few more markets here this quarter, but just one right now.
And you could still crush just one market.
Yeah.
If you just really focus.
And we're not even super aggressive. Like we're not doing crazy hours of calling and anything. We're like a 20-hour caller. We just upped it to 40.
Oh wow.
So
that's
like
incredible.
We don't do SMS. We just started this week.
That's So you're not even doing that many different sources, and you're already.
No. We just do. Our main source is cold calling.
Yeah.
And just being consistent. We're consistent and follow up. We're aggressive on the follow up.
That's where the money's made, right? The fortune's in the
Speaking
follow-up.
of which, what do you do with your follow up with the people that are like just so cold? Besides the auto follow up, I mean, do you have a personal touch? Like
Yes. So the way
that
I
takes
structure
time.
it does.
So who's doing those?
Because I have so many right now. This week, actually, literally had one of my June acquisitions get on the triple dialer and just call everybody that's still in our system.
Yeah.
Not for follow up, but for like discovery.
Yeah.
They told somebody they want to sell via text for a voicemail or called back maybe for a postcard. Never got a hold of them, or we did call me back later, and we still don't know if they want to sell or not.
Yep.
So I'm like, dude,
That's
there's like
smart.
690. I'm like, dude, triple dial all those.
Yeah.
And he's getting a lot of them. They're like, hey, remove me from the list and this and that. But as I got off the phone, he said he might have a hot deal that he might have just revived. So
Nice.
let's see. That's
Yeah,
why
those are what we struggle with. Is like it takes so much of somebody that does up it.
Yeah.
I'd rather have her focus
I get on
on
the
something
calls
else.
too. Sometimes, like, guys, work those. I'm gonna help you out because it's just like wasted leads is time kills all deals, but it's wasted leads also kill deals. Like
Right.
if you don't follow
We've
up
also
with them.
done deals where the lead came in a year ago. And it's still around.
That's why you can't give up. Like
that's what I mean.
Like people like are watching this and be like, what do you mean? Like you follow? Yeah, you're gonna keep calling this guy once a week, once a month, two times a month,
and then you're gonna get no responses.
Yeah.
You just got to follow up, be aggressive, and then try a different number. We call this guy like 3 different phone numbers. You know what I mean?
Sometimes the local number works. Sometimes the out-of-state number works. Sometimes the 800 number works. Like you just have to try different angles. And
we got blocked. They block you,
Yeah, of
and then
course.
you got to call a different number, and then once they're like, "Oh, you guys are legit. You actually want to buy my house," and like the guy was super happy that he worked with us.
Wow.
And he's like, he sent him a contract, had his agent look at it, and the agent was trying to pursue him to do something else, but he's like, I feel like I should really go with you because I don't want to have to deal with inspections and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And we bought it, flipped it, and actually I sent it to we stayed in touch, and we sent him like, hey, we flipped your property, like check it out.
It's amazing.
And he's like, wow, you guys did an awesome job. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I sold it to you guys. Like it was that.
But it's the rapport. You build really good rapport, and at the end, you provide a service of speed and certainty. Where he's like, I know I'm going to get this sold. With the agent, you never know, man.
You're providing a solution that it's not. Agents are not always they're not the best solution for everyone.
Yeah.
Like the guy we bought it from would have had to do so much work if he listed it. We fixed it up, and our inspection was like 30 pages.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
So like
falling
the
apart.
inspections are so picky, the inspectors.
I know they are.
So
sometimes I'll buy a house to flip myself, and then I look at the inspection room. I'm like, "Dude, you really put?"
I'm so turned off from flipping, man.
Yeah, I'm like, you really put that? Like, why did you even put that? Like, doorknob loose, or
yes.
could cause serious harm. I'm like,
window
just
doesn't stay up.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's like
I was like, I didn't even check that window. Like, what? You're just gonna open all the windows?
Yeah, exactly.
So
but the benefit actually I like about the realtors here in Lancaster, I had a seller like, oh, let me send it to my realtor, and believe it or not, the realtors, local realtors here, they understand wholesalers and investors, and actually they don't really kill the deals as much as I thought it would happen. As much as I've experienced in New York.
We had 2 or 3 that went through agents, and we actually had one that still wanted to use his agent.
Yeah.
And he paid him out of his own funds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like, I'm super loyal to this guy. I was like, okay, I mean, you don't have to pay him. But he paid him a closing.
I had somebody do the same thing.
Yeah.
Where they're like, it's my friend. It's a personal friend. And I'm like, she didn't do anything. She read the paper. It's like, yeah, but, you know, because I told her I
actually
would
made me use his contract.
Oh, really?
12-page contract.
Oh, God.
I just made sure it said his signs, and so he knew what he was doing. Yeah.
That's it, right? And like, what do you mean? Like, well, look, you know, we use multiple LLCs when we buy these properties.
Yeah, yeah.
And as long as it says that, you're good. And it's interesting. Like, one thing I learned was if the contract says cannot assign, means you cannot assign. But if it doesn't say anything, you could assign it.
Oh,
all
really?
contracts apparently are assignable,
even if they don't say it,
as long as it doesn't say it.
Ah.
I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah. By like,
I did hear that
law.
all contracts are signable. I thought you still had to put.
I think it's best to put it there, disclose, right, like your company name or signs, or right. In New York they say vendee, well, you know, like contract vendee, which kind of makes it look funny. You know, what does vendee mean? Actually, it means you're selling it. So it's kind of too straightforward. The signs is like you could kind of articulate.
You follow those 2 young guys in New York that do massive deals.
Oh, dude, yeah, I knew Austin. Austin, his brother.
What's his last? Yeah. Like funny last name.
Yeah,
right?
Jaff, like Jaff.
Something like that.
Yeah, Graf.
Yeah,
actually, dude, I knew him before when it first just got started. You know what I mean?
Funny.
We used to talk to him all the time about it.
A podcast and killing it out there.
Yeah, they're doing good, man. You know what? So what they didn't cover is they're doing very well in Rockland and like Orange and even Westchester too.
They're not.
I don't think we sold anything deals. We tried doing a few JVs. We actually in Austin and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they're good, man. But the thing with them is they got access to private money.
Yeah, they do.
They're connected to some.
They actually take them down, don't they, and flip them?
They do flip them. Yeah, they got. I think their dad did construction, and then they have private money, and they also have like these. Like here in Lancaster we have Amish. Over there in Rockland they have a lot of Jewish. So they have a lot of like Hasidic Jews where they're like they'll pile their money
that are ready to buy.
So same guys who bought out Brooklyn and Bronx, like overpaid and paid top dollar. That's like the guys that are buying up there, and they wholesale the deals to them or they flip them themselves, and they crush it. They do a good job, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're 2 twins, and they're both like hustlers, so they work both angles because one's a realtor, the other one is just more like, hey, wholesale, and if we can't, then we just push it to my brother. If not, we'll flip it
in the market. Yeah,
yeah.
You got both avenues.
They try to do everything else, but so in New York, I know they were like, oh, it's not that hard. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's hard to get deals because we did a lot of deals in New York. It's hard to get deals under contract without the attorney reviewing.
I've heard about that.
And if he reviews it,
like
usually they want 20% or 10% down. They're like, no. I'm like, no, there's no way this is a fake contract. It's not a fake contract. I never even walked the property, right? Like, or hey, I worked it, but I still gotta do my due diligence. So they want you to have money. And when I started, I'm dead broke. I didn't have any money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard when New York, it's the attorneys are the biggest.
Yep. Attorneys and EMDs kill the deals. Yeah. Even in Jersey, like if you do deals in Jersey, they kill your deals too. Because like, hey, what's this?
New Yorkers
understand.
They don't trust. They don't trust. Yeah, they always got to go through
the skeptical New Yorker. They're like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, it's a piece of paper that says 500,000. Like you could literally just write 500,000 for 1, 2, 3 Main Street. They're like, I need my attorney to review it. They'll literally go in there and probably show this to an attorney and pay $500 attorney review fee, and then still be like, we should add some more terms.
That's funny.
It's crazy.
But you do what it takes, though, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I didn't have access to money to put a lot of those deposits, but I've done multiple transactions there where I was able to convince the seller, like, look, it's $1,000. That's the most I can do. It's because we're doing multiple properties,
right? At the same time,
and they're like, oh, okay, right? Or like, hey, look, like it's an investment property. if you're able to put down the big deposit, you'll be able to get a lot more deals done.
Huh.
And so
you got to really know it's a deal. Like you can't. You have to vet each deal then for like really.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so most of Westchester, it's like there's a lot of comps. So there's a lot of transaction happening. So there's a lot of comps, and sometimes you get rural areas where it's not. But yeah, for New York, it's definitely. I know like Larry and Sanchez, Larry and Sanchez. They do Westchester also. I think there were those guys who did what's the one with the caveman, the franchise? Homevestors. Homevestors. No, it's Homevestors. So they're part of that franchise, and they threw a lot of events, and we went to like their events and stuff like that, just selling them deals. But they were buying a lot of deals from us because they started flipping too, because Westchester is a good market to flip because ARVs are so high. So you pick it up for, let's say, 280 and ARV's 400. Wow. You know what I mean? And you don't need that much in the property.
Fix it up, yeah. In today's market, I'm sure you can sell whatever.
I think we picked up a deal for 190 and sold it for them for like 280, and they picked it up for 280. So 95K assignment fee, and they ended up flipping that property. But it's
still
crazy.
made money, yeah.
Yeah,
everybody makes money.
So when the ARV, I feel like when ARVs are like so low, like 110, 120, you got to get this thing for like 10 grand, 20 grand.
Yeah, it better be over 200 to really make sense.
Yeah, so you need some juice, you need some equity, and you know, you could still make money in some of those like smaller markets or like, you know, not high or ARVs. But you're picking up your properties for really good prices. I see your deals when you set them out.
We get them really low. I think we average. I mean, we averaged like 13.5 last year.
Nice
per assignment, but we've got as high as 40K and then as small as 0. We had one deal where we just felt bad for the seller and we gave him our assignment fee, which was $5,000. He was not making anything.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's nice.
It was a bad property.
You know, that's good. You know, and it's like sometimes we've done it where it's like, look, you know, we're gonna make $2,000. Just that's okay. Just get this deal done. Yeah. And just that's it. Yep. Right? God will see it, and then we will
get that back.
Yeah, exactly. So it's okay. No, man, it's great catching up.
Yeah, man, for sure.
It's been too long. It's been almost over a year.
Threw everything off, but
yeah,
man, it
was a good time. It was a good time to get spiritual, to realize how you're running your company and everything else like that. It's definitely
get the right mindset.
Yeah.
Put your head down.
Yeah.
And work. Just really grind.
Work hard. I think a lot of wholesalers did pretty well because, you know, they put their head down and said, I got to keep going. I got to make this work. Some people are like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. And then you got scared, right? And then back down and stop marketing. I started marketing more. I'm like, more people going to be home. Yeah. They're on the phone. They're on the computer.
Call them, text them.
You text them. You send them a postcard. They're going to be home. And it worked. Like we were picking up good deals. And thank God for that. You know, but right now the market's kind of crazy.
It is. I mean, people are buying on the MLS. They're buying ridiculous amounts of like OverAsking. Yeah. Anything nice is OverAsking.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we were looking at buying a property that was a HUD home, like it was foreclosed, and they listed it at 140. Its ARV is 350.
Wow.
And someone was gonna offer. The guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna offer 100,000 above asking.
Holy smoke! Are you kidding me? Yeah, so 100K over, and it'll 240.
It'll take 100K to fix it up, minimum.
So he'll be old in a 340 house is worth 300.
Yeah, and he wants to live in it. He's got a business. He's a richer, so he doesn't need the money.
He just doesn't care. That's crazy.
That's because there is a shortage of housing. There is no other housing in that area that's decent.
Is that true though? Like,
there is a big shortage.
I always hear like, oh, it's a shortage. I'm like,
massive.
Well, we're doing deals all the time, and we're getting them for so low, and you are too. I know the media is saying that too. I feel like there is, but I think they're hyping it up a lot, where it just creates that kill or be killed mentality and overbid one another.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the overbidding is happening.
It's crazy happening.
But if you're looking for property just as a retail buyer, there's not enough housing on the market. So maybe for investors it's a little different, but
yeah, for actual people who are going to live in the property,
my sister's trying to buy one. She can't find a thing.
Wow.
Or she's getting outbid.
My buddy's trying to buy off MLS in Westchester County, and he's like, dude, I get 30-40 grand overbid. Yeah. You know, I'm like, I get outbidded every time, so he's trying to buy deals from me.
And there's new construction going up everywhere.
All over here, right?
All over here in Lancaster, there's new construction by the day.
And we thought by the end of the, like, oh man, halfway through
I think that
COVID,
would help, yeah.
you would like, my God, there's gonna be like, there's gonna be a lot of people like losing homes and this and that.
No.
But the banks working with people actually help prevent that, right? And people like, oh, I could still keep it.
I thought I thought that was gonna be a big issue too, but people are saying it's not because people have a lot of equity from 2008. If even if you bought at that high price, and then with inflation, like you don't have to sell at a discount. So hopefully that actually should help the inventory.
Okay.
People list their properties on the market, even if they're in pre-foreclosure, because the bank is not going to foreclose on them. They still could make a decent amount of money and walk away.
If the property's in good condition and it doesn't need to work, and you're handy, just YouTube some stuff, right? Fix it up and then sell it. I just tell people when they call our company to sell them, like, I try to like establish like, yeah, dude, we're not the right fit for you. Yeah. You don't need to work with us. Yeah. Because I'm not going to waste your time. Are you already asking?
I told a guy today, before he called me, I was talking to him and I said, he wanted a lot for his property. And I said, I'm not your retail buyer. Like, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to set up a time with you to meet with you if we're not the right fit.
Yep.
And he was super, we're going to follow up with him, but like, I was like, man, you should list your property. If you think it's worth that much, you should list it. I offer ease and convenience, but that comes at a cost.
Exactly. The fast closing, you're paying the closing costs, right? All
and
that
I used to be like, I used to go around that. I used to like be afraid to say that, but man, you waste so much time if you're not.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who call to sell with us, but they want retail. They want retail,
and the property's in great
shape. Or above retail, or close to retail, or retail, and it's like, some of the property needs a lot of work, and then you're like, all right, let me just educate you, right? Like, your house needs about $50,000 in order for it to sell for $300. Now, you can't get $300 now. I understand that's what Zillow says, but it's not what it's worth. Zillow uses comparables in neighborhood that's sold, and like, oh, but I still want $290. Then I'll give you a discount. I'm like, no. I'm like, all right, let me just get to the offer.
It's better to set the expectation up front, and I've been doing more of that. Just like, hey, either we're gonna work together or we're not, which is totally fine. But I just want to let you know, like, I'm not going to pay at retail.
Exactly.
If they come off with that approach. Now, if not, if there's other motivation, then we'll look deeper. But
of course,
like, don't waste your time. With people that are not willing to sell to you. In fact, most people don't want to sell to you, and most people don't want to sell to you at a discount.
Yeah, exactly. So because they don't need to. They don't need to a lot of times, right? They have the time, they have the convenience, they have money to fix it. Their sisters are
My mentor used to say, don't create deals, find them. Like, your job is to find a deal, not to create one. Like,
I like it.
And we try to like save a deal like that's nothing on, no meat on the bone. And waste so much of our energy.
I've been there.
Oh man,
in the beginning.
We still do this sometimes. Like,
you try to get creative financing involved and and then you're like, man, I just wasted like 30 minutes trying to figure this out. I'm like, forget it, man. It's dead.
Or you spend so much time doing research before you even call a guy.
Yeah.
And then you call them and you're like, you're not even the right fit.
Yeah.
So I just call, and try and do my research as I'm talking to them, see if we're the fit or not. So.
Yeah. You have your different hats and different exit strategies in your head when you're already qualifying them. And that's what it takes for like a good acquisitions person.
Yeah.
Right? Like know your exit. Like, okay, when you're talking to them, like, all right, the mortgage's too high, it's close to retail, I can't do anything. Maybe I could do a mortgage takeover. Yeah. Right? He doesn't want to do that. He wants to get rid of the mortgage because he's buying another house. All right, that's out of the question. Yeah. Right? So just always search that exit. And that helps. That helps. Yeah, that comes with experience too, because initially it was like, just a wholesale formula. Like, that's all you know. And then maybe you start creating...
It changes all the time.
That's true too.
It changes all the time. What people are buying is different. What they're buying a year ago, 6 months ago is different than now, actually.
Yeah.
Think about it. With the market booming, people they can overpay, knowing that they can sell it right away.
They'll actually... So that was my biggest problem with Lancaster. Is people want to make like 30%, 40% like here off a flip, and you're like, what the heck? Yeah. But now with the low inventory, they're probably outbidding one another for these deals, and they're okay making a 20% profit margin.
Yeah. And you have to get the flippers that are not going to do the high end, because those people are spending $80,000 to $100,000 per flip.
Yeah, you told me that, and I've seen the pictures. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
How
beautiful property.
They're gorgeous.
But it's just
it's like 1,100 square foot home. Like 2 floors, but like $100,000 in worth of work. You're like, what? Yeah. And it sells for like $200K.
It's like a one-way street, no parking.
Yeah. One-way street, no parking. The sidewalk's like tiny.
Yeah. And so those guys have to get it at a massive discount for them to make sense.
Yeah.
So, that was my struggle, is like finding really good deals that need like 10,000 work, maybe less in work, and nobody wanting them.
Man.
Yeah, you have to get a landlord to buy those properties.
And I was there too.
Don't want them.
Scratch around, I'm like, yeah, these
This
buyers
is a
don't
good
want.
deal.
I'm like, I'm gonna take it down myself.
Yeah,
like, I understand it.
We did that. That's why we did a flip, because nobody.
That's what I said. This market is great for flipping if you're a wholesaler, because we're getting them for such low prices.
Yeah.
Even like buy and holds. I'm like,
this market is great if you do a light flip.
Yep.
You can make massive margins there.
yeah,
Because, yeah, you can sell it to a retail buyer at a much higher price, and your rehab costs can be under 30.
that's awesome. Exactly.
You don't need to go all out.
And like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I think I picked up a property even before COVID for like 70, put in 25. What is it, 95? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sell this thing for like 140. Ended up selling it lower because it was right at COVID.
Yeah.
But still, like, sold it for like 120.
How long did it take you? A month?
It's sold, actually, I listed it the day like COVID came out. Like,
yeah.
I listed in the morning, like it finally listed, and like, oh, COVID, like, what's COVID? And like, oh, people, yeah, you're shutting everything down. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, delisted, and it didn't. So it stood on like for 3 days.
Yeah.
Then it got delisted, and then it listed again, and like I had to I had to break the price down, but yeah, it took like 2 months.
Yeah.
But I got closed, and I'm like, all right, cool, like, made whatever, 25 grand. My own's
that's
closed
not
at
bad,
22 over flip, and yeah, in my head I was like, all right, if we do a flip, you want to make at least like 40, 50 grand for me, right? So it's a waste of time.
For it to make sense.
Yeah,
because you can make 25 the wholesale.
That's what I mean.
It's hard to take down flips.
Yeah,
because you're so used to in making those and
got spoiled
in a day. Yeah,
and it's like I said, who would say like, oh man, I'm complaining about making $20,000, right? Like, yeah, you made it in 2 months, 3 months. Like, who the hell is complaining? It's just it's just like when you level up, your expectations also level up too, right? What you expect to see, like, all right, cool, this took a lot of managing to get this flip done. I made 25 grand. All right, well, if I can manage my cold callers or my acquisitions guys, we could have made 2 deals and made maybe 40 grand.
Yeah, man.
So that's just like shift. And I just said, you know what, after that flip, we did one more in the city. I said, yeah, it doesn't make sense. I made like another 25 grand. I was like, this it doesn't make sense. I calculated 45, made 25. I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I'm done with flipping.
Yeah,
because good contractors here are taken up. They're busy.
Yes.
So using contractors they could find, and
that takes your time too. It's like, unless you have a GC,
I had to drive out there and manage it and look at it and buy supplies and make sure they're doing their work.
See, I hate doing that.
Yeah,
I didn't do any of that.
Can't stand it.
I mean, it's better to either find a GC or have somebody manage it for you.
Even the GC, you have to watch him because he didn't do so well. I use the same guy from Duke Street. I'm like, I'll give him a second chance. He did it then. He wasn't paying attention because he grew and there was a demand around springtime of March last year, right? And then he was
they're busy.
Yeah, they're busy.
Like they're all the good ones are probably not going to work for you because they're doing so many projects.
Yeah, like 6 months in advance and ahead. Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and your goal should be to list as soon as possible, not sit on a property.
And that's just it. I'm like, all right, I'm either closing the properties, listing themselves, wholesaling them, or cleaning them out, listing them, or just wholesaling everything.
Yeah, wholesale is the way to go. Wholesale or just a sign.
Yeah. I love assigns.
Me too.
My whole business, you know what I mean?
We don't have issues here with our buyers.
Yeah, wholesale.
Yeah.
Buyers shouldn't ever have an issue with that. And if they do, I'm like, dude, you know what, man?
Yeah.
I'll go to the next guy. He's going to be happy that I made 30 grand off an assignment. Because he still got it for 150K below market value.
Yeah.
And he's going to put in 45K or maybe less because he's a contractor.
Yeah.
And so... yeah, some people get upset about like seeing fees. It's kind of weird.
Do you have sellers that have an issue with, like, oh, you're not buying it?
No, I had actually an attorney who tried to kill my deal the day of closing. She's like, look, he's making 23 grand on this deal. I'm like, and I heard her talk. I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, I saw the seller. Like, see you later. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Like, we had like really good rapport.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? You're right. She's like, no. Well, he's like, I'm like, look, I overheard what he said.
Yeah.
I said, Steve and I here, we're partners, right? I find the deals. He does the construction part. I just get my portion paid first.
Yeah.
He pays me first because then I could try to help more people and try to find more people. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, that's what you work. And Steve's like, yeah, he brings me deals all the time. And the seller just calmed down and she was like, oh, everything's good. And got a nice picture with her and her sister, and they're happy. Just the fact of the matter is, you guys are partners. Yes, even if you don't like the guy, I'm like, we're gonna be partners. You're taking it down. Deal, I'm bringing the deal, and we're working together on this because you need the buyer's cooperation.
Yeah.
And your cooperation, title company gets everything done, and of course the seller. Yeah. So you're partnering up by bringing.
Sometimes even after you tell them that, especially even like we try to tell them up front. And it seems like they just forget that till closing or something.
Oh, really?
Like we're telling them, hey, we might not buy the property. sometimes if we know for sure we'll buy, we'll let them know. But
yeah,
like, hey, like we're not gonna close on your property. Like we'll have partners that we work with, investors that we work with locally.
Yeah,
vetted, qualified investors. That is gonna close on your property, and sometimes that's an issue. But 99% of the time, it's never been.
It's never an issue.
We actually stop showing up sometimes to closings.
That's awesome.
Like we just prep them and say, hey, so and so is going to be there for closing, and they don't really care as long as they're getting their money.
That's right. At that point, right? That's why they reach out to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen.
I've only double closed once.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. Everything else we just do basic assignments. The buyer knows what we're doing. Seller knows what we're doing.
So I've double closed. I'm trying to think it was once or twice, but I double closed in this deal because we were making a ridiculous amount of money on this deal, and I was just like, "Yo, the closing with the sellers on Friday. Let's push the buyer for Monday."
Yeah.
Because I was like, if she sees that we're making like $89,000 assignment fee,
they
she's gonna have.
Issue, yeah.
I don't know if she's gonna flip out on us. No,
we did that once on a large assignment, just so the
be
seller
safe.
or the buyer don't get cold feet.
Yeah. Yep.
That was it.
Oh, so okay, another one we did. That was in New York, in Westchester County. We bought it for 35. Oh no, 37, and they listed it for like 60. Right?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, let's just get some feedback from the market. Dude, we thought we were going to sell for like 55. It went up to 60, 70, 80, 90. As high as like 132.
Are you serious?
I was like, oh my God. And then we were like, all right, I talked to my attorneys, like, let's get this thing closed.
Yeah.
Scoop all the money that we had together from like the closings and just threw it in there and closed it. Bought it for 37 grand.
Yeah.
And then Friday, went to celebrate Atlantic City Saturday, and Saturday, Sunday, and just waited for the wire to hit on Monday. And it was crazy.
That's awesome. That's a sick deal.
That was a sick deal, and my God, was it crazy? The lady got screwed over by a contractor who stole money from her. Right? This is why flipping is dangerous too. Like if you don't have the right contract, she gave him $100 grand. Like,
oh no,
$100 grand. Like, here you go, started.
No.
He did like 20 grand worth of work, left with the money. She hired a new guy. New guy's like, yo, everything he did is not up to code. I gotta rip everything down. And she's like, okay. She started paying him $20,000, and then she's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm already like in the hole. I just want to sell it. And she I think she like wanted like a 65 or something like that. I was like, I need to make a small profit, so I got it for 37 eventually, and then we sold it. And yeah, those times
are the
sense.
best ones where you don't think you're gonna get much for it, and then you get outbid.
those are like whoa, right?
Yeah,
like it just gets you.
We had one or two like that where it's like, oh shoot, we didn't know we had.
Seriously,
yeah,
it's been crazy, and those are good. And I feel like double closing those might be necessary just because you don't want to. You might make $4 or $5 grand less, but you're safe, right?
Right. Like, you don't lose the deal.
Yeah.
So if you have any fear of losing the deal,
just
or even if you're in a state that has issues like that, with assignments, I mean, it's better to get those connections beforehand anyway.
Yeah.
Make sure you can double close. Make sure you have a transaction coordinator or funding.
Exactly. Yep. Transactional funding, essentially, right? Somebody will close it, lend it for 3 days, and then
they'll charge you like what, a point?
Yeah, they'll charge you less. So in New York, we had to pay like transfer taxes, and they're really high over there. They're like,
are they?
You know what I mean? I think there's like 3%, 4% on the house. You know what I mean?
Side?
Yeah, one side.
Doing both, and
then no, actually, both. We were paying on one side. It was like crazy, and like Yonkers also does like a crazy thing where it's like they charge you an extra percent if you're selling a property, and then but if you're buying a property, an extra percent too. It's like kind of crazy.
Yeah. So here it's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Buyer 1, seller 1, but since we pay for closing costs, it'll be 2%, and then
of sales price, which is like 70, 80, 100 grand.
Yeah. And then this buyer does the same thing.
That's crazy.
So that's the only downside of double closing, but it's worth it if you're making, you're gonna max of 2, 3, 4, 5K in costs, but
exactly.
Hopefully
you secure the deal and you made 40,000, 30,000. It's amazing. It's cost of doing business. You know, I had a seller last week just tell me like, oh, I'm going to the clean out. The person, like the tenant moved out. He didn't actually take all the stuff. I know what I'm gonna do, but I'm not paying you guys. I'm not doing this. I want to walk away. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna make like $36,000 in this assignment. I said, yeah, don't worry. You know what? It's okay. You're stressed out. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And then I JV with a wholesaler, so I was like, yo, dude, 1,000 from you, 1,000 from us. Let's just pay the cleaning costs for the buyer, because the buyer's saying the same thing. Let's just get it over with.
Yep.
We ate the cost, but who's gonna complain? The smile on my face, You
get the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the deal done, and that's it.
Yeah, it's about helping you. You got to solve a problem and you get
That's
paid.
it. And because she had a wholesaler or investor who was supposed to close on it, backed out, and she was really hurt about it, skeptical. And I think like right after that, her father died, and she was like,
wow.
she affiliated the pain of her father dying with that